Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Mr. Benggio. We are reading chapter 19, The Inventing Room, Everlasting Godstoppers, and Hair Toffee. When Mr. Wonka shouted, "Stop the boat!" the Oompa Loompas jammed their oars into the river and backed water furiously. The boat stopped. The Oompa Loompas guided the boat alongside the red door. On the door it said, "Inventing Room, Private, Keep Out." Mr. Wonka took the key from his pocket and leaned over the side of the boat and put the key in the keyhole. "This is the most important room in the entire factory. All of my most secret new inventions are cooking and simmering in here. Old Fickle Gruber would give his front teeth to be allowed inside just for 3 minutes. So would Prodnose and Slugworth and all the other rotten chocolate makers. But now, listen to me. I want no messing about when you go in. No touching, no meddling, and no tasting. Is it agreed?" "Yes, yes," the children cried. "We won't touch a thing. Up to now, nobody else, not even an Oompa Loompa, has ever been allowed in here." He opened the door and stepped out of the boat into the room. The four children and their parents all scrambled after him. "Don't touch!" Mr. Wonka shouted. "And don't knock anything over." Charlie Bucket stared around the gigantic room in which he now found himself. The place was like a witch's kitchen. All about him black metal pots were boiling and bubbling on huge stones, and kettles were hissing and pans were sizzling, and strange iron machines were clanking and spluttering, and there were pipes running all over the ceiling and walls, and on the whole place was filled with smoke and steam and delicious, rich smells. Mr. Wonka himself had suddenly become even more excited than usual, and anyone could see that this was the room he loved best of all. He was hopping about among the saucepans and machines like a child among his Christmas presents, not knowing which thing to look at first. He lifted the lid from a huge pot and took a sniff. Then he rushed and dipped his finger into a barrel of sticky yellow stuff and had a taste. Then he skipped across one of the machines and turned half a dozen knobs, this way and that. Then he peered anxiously through the glass door of a gigantic oven, rubbing his hands and cackling with delight at what he saw inside. Then he ran over to another machine, a small, shiny affair that kept going and every time it went a large green marble dropped out into the basket on the floor. At least, it looked like a marble. "Everlasting gobstoppers," cried Mr. Wonka. "They're completely new. I'm inventing them for children who are given very little pocket money. You can put an everlasting gobstopper in your mouth, and you can suck at it and suck at it and suck at it and suck at it, but it will never get any smaller." "It's like gum," cried Violet. "It is not like gum," Mr. Wonka said. "Gum is for chewing, and if you try chewing one of these gobstoppers, you'd break your teeth. And they never get any smaller. They never disappear. Never. At least, I don't think they do. There's one of them being tested this very moment in the testing room next door. An Oompa Loompa is sucking it. He's been sucking it for nearly a year now without stopping, and it's still just as good as ever. Now over here," Mr. Wonka said, skipping excitedly across the room to the opposite wall, "over here I'm inventing a completely new line of toffees." He stopped beside a large saucepan, and the saucepan was full of thick, gooey, purplish treacle, boiling and bubbling. By standing on his toes, little Charlie could see inside. "That's hair toffee!" cried Mr. Wonka. "You eat just one tiny bit of it, and in exactly half an hour a brand new, luscious, thick, silky, beautiful crop of hair will start growing out all over the top of your head, and a moustache and a beard." "A beard!" cried Veronica Salt. "Who wants a beard, for heaven's sake?" "It would suit you very well," said Mr. Wonka. "But unfortunately, the mixture is not quite yet ready. I got it too strong. It works too well. I tried it on a Oompa Loompa yesterday in the testing room, and immediately a huge black beard started shooting out from his chin, and the beard grew so fast that soon it was trailing all over the floor in a thick, hairy carpet. It was growing faster than we could cut it. In the end, we had to use a lawnmower to keep it in check. But I'll get the mixture right soon. And when I do, there'll be no excuse for any little boys or girls to go out with bald heads." "But Mr. Wonka," said Mike, "little boys and girls never do go about with. Don't argue with me, dear child. Please don't argue, cried Mr. Wonka. It's such a waste of precious time. Now, over here, if you will all step this way, I will show you something that I am terrifically proud of. Oh, do be careful. Don't knock anything over. Stand back. That was the end of chapter 19. Come back tomorrow for chapter 20.